What is good, my Impact Wrestling fam? Welcome to another edition of TNAIW Reaction, right here on the TNAIW channel. My name is Geoff, and I want to thank you for pressing play, and I want to apologize ahead of time, because I ain't feeling well, folks. Feeling like a big old bag of dicks, to be honest. But we're going to have a good time. We're going to make the most of this, and I thank you for watching. I thank you for pressing play, and hopefully subscribing and liking and all that jazz. Regardless, you know what this is about. One friend at a time, one fan at a time, building the Impact Wrestling community, soon to be the TNA community. And having a good time while we do it. Speaking of that, I have a lot of comments from you guys, and I thank you. And a message to you, those who do comment and those who would like to comment. With the next 2 weeks being Thanksgiving special, IPWF, make sure you hit me up. Whatever it is, ask you anything, I'll answer it. And we'll have a good time as we coast into Hard to Kill. Or Final Resolution, then Hard to Kill. We'll talk about it. But first, I want to plug LOL Trinity, which will be back Tuesday with our TNA One Night Only Part 2. So we're going to actually book the pay-per-view, including a Call Your Shot gauntlet. So it'll be a good time. And that will be followed at 7 p.m. by Go Power Rankings. I imagine they'll be on a small hiatus with the holidays coming up, or the holiday episodes. But look out for their return, and make sure you go check them out this Tuesday. Bert, Lucha, and Datula, always killing it. But we're going to get on to Impact on us access to whatever. We're going to get on to the Impact review, and we're not going to buzz through it because I'm just trying to hurry. But there's very few segments. It's a lot of matches, straight to the point. And it's something they taped at the Fallout of Bound for Glory, kind of putting it together here. And, honestly, still making a fun episode. I enjoyed it, but there are things to talk about for sure. Let's start with Kenny King and Sheldon Jean, the newly released Kenny King, allegedly. We'll talk more about that later in my feelings on Kenny, asking for his release. But he's teaming with Sheldon Jean. And they're going to take on the ABC in a tag team title match. About 7 or so minutes here, so not getting a full play. But ABC remaining victorious, which is important. Kenny King and Sheldon Jean, well, at the moment, or at that time, getting a tag team title match, which was good. But really interesting that Kenny King gets a tag team title match, loses, exits. Sammy gets a tag team title match, loses, exits. Is it a growing trend, or is it just coincidence? Either way, ABC picking up the victories, and what kind of segues into the next point here, because MK Ultra's next, and they're doing a vignette, which is beautiful. They're beautiful. It's all great. One of the most exciting things on the show for me, because it's a full package. But after us bragging about the depth and the newly found depth of the both tag team divisions, we're losing a lot. We lose Kenny King and Sheldon Jean. We lose Sammy and Rich. MK Ultra lost the Coven. Death Dolls are Bill and Ted in it, but Rosemary's putting on makeup, so the Shawtraj is around, but we need some teams, and I think you'll have to, maybe that's what we'll do on one of these, because I know there's questions about it, but as far as our depth going into TNA, I think it'll grow. I don't know how. We'll get into that in a second. Well, not a second, but we'll get to that in your comments. But yeah, tag team division looking a little thin, and I think obviously once we get our bearings about us starting into the new year, we'll see that pan out. Because MK Ultra here isn't saying, only who's left. It's we want to take all takers. We are the queens of the knockouts division, etc., and not wrong. So we'll talk about that, but first we're talking about another tag team. So we got a tag team here, Moose and Myers, but Moose right now is heading into TNA Hard to Kill as the number one contender. He's got the briefcase, he's got Myers. And he's going to pick up the victory after some shenanigans and a spear on Heath. I don't know if this is Heath's last match or not. Still on the roster page, whatever that means. But after the match, they're going to beat down Heath because his old tag team partner Rhino is going to make the save. And after this, Moose and Myers are going to accuse Rhino of being jealous. And they're going to set up a match at Final Resolution, Moose versus Rhino. I know we're on a skeleton crew. But is Rhino the person I want, my number one contender that I want people to believe can be the TNA World Champion at Hard to Kill? Is that the person I want him facing the pay-per-view before to get him set up? I don't think so. I know he's a former world champion. But it's 2023. So I don't know. I get it, but at the same time, I would like to see some momentum for Moose, and I don't think Rhino beating, Rhino is going to be that, but I digress. Something exciting, though. K-Dog Conan, 3LK's LAX's Conan is on commentary, and always been one of my favorites, man. And he's there with Tom and Matt. And he's talking over the Rascalz versus Laredo Kid versus Black Taurus and Juventud Guerrera match, which this one they did give a bit. I think it was more in the 11-minute range. Really enjoyed it. I'm trying to read my one little thing here. Oh, Jesus. I miss Juvi's singlet. Miss Juvi in a singlet. I got that. And anytime someone comes out with a double high five tag team partners, Buzz Killington. Either way, it was a damn good match. Black Taurus picking up the one at the Destination Hellhole. Is that right? Yeah. Juvi not hitting a 450. Someone let me know. Can he? I mean, he can still do it, right? Either way, Team Lucha is going to pick up the victory here over the Rascalz in the debuting Myron Reed. Look, I'm a fan of Myron Reed. I've only seen bits and pieces, but always been pushing for him to be signed, been part of Impact. You know, and I think the Rascalz are great with the Freebird kind of style. At the same time, I think obviously Myron's going to have a lot of learning to do when it comes to the TV, and how that goes, charisma, all of those things to connect. Because, and once again, love Myron Reed. But when you put him next to Trey, and you put him against the Wentz, who's, eye fucking the camera, you need that charisma, natural charisma as well. And I hope we get some more of that. And I hope he gets to stick around, man. I hope this wasn't a one-time thing. They call them the Rascalz. They put him over as, an OG Rascal. So here's to hoping that I could finally put out that cross the line for Myron Reed. Either way, a damn good and fun match, despite my high five and singlet comment. Enjoyed that, and we're going to move on to the outcome of that promo last week about Soft and what happened to you, and Jordan just standing there. Promo, it's going to be Steve Maclin and Kylan King. Kylan getting the singles push that we had hoped for. Not at the expense of Coven, but Taylor Wilde also off the roster page. So, maybe that injury is a little more real than just passing. I don't know my words, but you know what I mean. So hopefully, all love to Taylor, and hopefully she's fine. But that being said, Kylan was already going to be, a singles here. She gets the music, she gets the entrance. The music's interesting. Let me know what you guys thought. But I think she's the real deal. And in a world where Mickey's gone, if Taylor's gone, and we don't know what's up with Deanna, this is exactly the person you need to be putting some stock into. So I like that. They're going to lose, though, to Bully Ray, her teacher, and Jordan Grace. Bully Ray and Jordan are going to have a moment of take it from me thing, because Bully's a dick, but he's not a dick. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Either way, thought it was a good storyline. I want more stuff like this. I like when things intertwine and give everyone a little bit of spot. Did you think you'd see Steve Maclin and Kylan King tagging this year? Did, Bully and Jordan? So it gives you something different and interesting where we're not getting many storylines. So I enjoyed that. Next up is Trinity in a non-title match. The wording there was a little weird for me. I didn't know if it was or wasn't, but this is Sonny Kiss's debut officially. And look, to be honest, unbiased, transparent, and honest. Hey, I haven't said that in a while. But that's the truth here, man. That's how I like to be. And I haven't seen enough of Sonny Kiss's work to make an opinion. Besides, I don't know what to say. Never mind. What I was going to say, though, is that when Sonny Kiss entered the Bound for Glory Call Your Shot, I was impressed. Like the look, like the charisma and the movement and all that stuff. But when you have a Call Your Shot gauntlet, you get a couple moves in, and then you stand in a corner and choke someone, or I'm hurt, whatever. So here to see a full match, I thought it was good. I thought it was an entertaining match. Obviously Trinity's going to pick up the win. It felt very, who am I? But it felt very choreographed. Felt a little more, very athletic, Sonny Kiss. But it felt a little more Lacey Von Erich than Lady Frost to me. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but I'm a dude who likes to see punches laid in. I like to see kicks laid in. I don't want to see you thinking about the next move while you're still doing the one you're in. Not my bag. And as we try to add more knockouts to this, does they fit the billing? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think the athleticism's cool, and I think that adds to it for sure. But as a comment we'll say later, I think we need to add, what does Trinity do? What does Deanna do? What does Jordan do? What does Kylan do? And how do we fill in gaps of different styles to make this a very eclectic, everything you kind of want division? Does Sonny Kiss fill a void? I don't know. But I love that Trinity used the Bubba Bomb or the full Nelson bomb on that. I think with someone with her height and her athleticism as well, I enjoy that more than the I'm going to tap you out, starstruck thing. It doesn't fit her to me, and that's my opinion. But I love her using that bomb. It's impactful. She's impactful. All her moves are like that. So when you hit moves all the match, and you're like, damn, Trinity, damn. And then you end it with a starstruck. It just doesn't work. I love this move. And I hope she continues using that as her main thing. Next up, Motor City is going to talk about how they are the best of their generation. No comment from me. And then Zack Sabre Jr., they're talking about him at Final Resolution, that they're going to be teaming with, he's going to be teaming with Josh, and at Final Resolution, Motor City Machine Guns will be taking him on. Last but not least is the main event, which was Will Ospreay defeating Josh Alexander. And man, there were so many little big things in this match that I don't know. All I have, I don't have words, but I have little things. Josh saying, "This is my house," and having some aggressiveness. Not that he normally doesn't, but it felt like, granted this is kayfabe and whatever, that maybe those comments we mentioned last week, the "I didn't know who you were until now I know who you are" thing, which I didn't like. I'm sure there's a comment on that too, I believe. But I like Josh responding, maybe not, but it felt like it, and saying, "This is my house." You know, we're the same size, we're the same talent level in Josh's eyes, and he proved that, man. Loved the little things that Ospreay does, like the open fist. He sent me with such good little things, man. I thought this was a masterpiece. I enjoyed it for TV wrestling. This was damn good, and I loved every second of it. It sucks that Ospreay won't be around for more. I think we could possibly get him for Hard to Kill, but it depends on how nice Tony's being, right? Doesn't that suck to say that? But we'll see. More on that in just a second. But what did you guys think of this episode? Obviously, it's a hodgepodge of stuff with a skeleton crew that we're putting on our way to Final Resolution, on our way to Hard to Kill. But I thought this was a very enjoyable episode, and a good one, especially with the main event, to set us off before this 2-week hiatus. So, what did you guys think? I'm going to still go in the 8 range, man. That main event for me was just great. The Lucha one was as much criticism. I don't know if it was criticism, but as much opinion I gave on the Sonny Kiss Trinity thing, I enjoyed that too, man, for what it was. So I thought it was a good episode. I'm going to go 8, but what does it matter? What did you guys think? Let me know. And we'll move on to your guys' comments. Going to keep this not short, but the sweet as possible for you guys and for myself. But let's get right into it. Let's get into your guys' comments. And we're going to start with Mac McCall 5775. Nice to meet you. Access will be in more homes on December 12th on Comcast. Skyblur21 saying it's sort of odd Impact isn't talking about it on social media. You would think that would be something they'd bring up, especially with the new TNA rebranding. Yeah, I don't know enough. I will say this. The Comcast, I think, gives them 30 million more homes. If you have Comcast Infinity Plus, you know, look, we all can go on YouTube and watch it, but Access TV getting into more households is going to be the goal for Impact, or for Access TV and Anthem, and it doesn't hurt the cause. So good for them to do that, and I think that was also, I taped it right before they announced it, so I was saying, what would you guys prefer, them be on Access TV and then push that, which I firmly believe that was the case, or do you want them to go somewhere else like C-Dub or something like that? We get our answer. Access TV getting in more homes. We'll talk about that in just a second. I think it's right here. Our buddy Demon Better 99. I get what you're saying about not caring what the viewership is, but it still matters. For example, if the new TNA only got 20,000 viewers, that would not be a good look, even if the show is great. The bigger thing is, will these fans that reposted TNA coming back, I think it's in reference to me saying the numbers are up on retweets and all that stuff, reposts, excuse me, TNA coming back, actually watch the TNA or not watch at all? That is the question. Well, first I want to thank you, buddy, for seeing my side of it. I think it's my fault that we're at this point because I've said it over the course of 3 years of why I don't. Now I just say it just doesn't matter to me. There's 44,000 homes. They don't speak for everyone. Boom. But I'm going to go into a little detail or more into that and why. So I thank you for your question. But I do want to say that your TNA, are the people that reposted it actually going to watch the show? And I think that's a valid question, but I don't think it's the full question you need to ask. Because my point with the Nielsen ratings is the same about what you're saying with the TNA thing. It doesn't matter if the person who reposted the TNA tweet or whatever watches TNA. Of course it does, right? But hear me out. It matters if that person watches at 8 p.m. live on AXS TV and has a Nielsen box. That's all that matters. Because if Nielsen ratings are all that matters to you, or not you specifically deem it better, but in general, if that's what you base the popularity of Impact off of, or any TV show, there's a lot of credentials that need to be hit to even affect the Nielsen ratings. And I could say Demon Better, and myself as well. Well, I don't know, but I'm going to go out there and say it. How many of you watch live 8 o'clock on AXS TV? Raise your hand. How many do you watch live on AXS TV at 8 o'clock on Thursdays and have a Nielsen box? Probably not a lot of you, okay? So does that mean our fandom doesn't matter? No, of course not. There are other ways to garner numbers, popularity. And, to break it down a little more, there's 4 ways of revenue, at least in my mind, when it comes to something like wrestling. Because the way we're speaking about the Nielsen ratings is we're treating Impact like a TV show. But Impact's not a TV show, it's a company, okay? And what I mean by that is yes, do Nielsen ratings and ad revenue matter? Yes. Okay. Does TV rights fees matter? Yes. Does merch sales matter? Yes. Does live attendance matter? Yes. There are 4 different ways that all contribute to the success of a company, like Impact. So, does the Nielsen ratings really do enough to... Does it do enough to move the needle? And what I mean by that is when Impact sits down for its TV rights renewing, they sit down at Anthem, it's Scott, it's Ed, it's Len, or whoever else, and they say, man, we own Impact, but we're going to lower your rights fees, TV rights fees that we give you, because you're not really bringing in the ad revenue. Would they do that when we sit at the table with them? Would they decrease our budget because the ad revenue on Nielsen, the Nielsen ratings is lower, so they're not on AXS TV? I don't think so. If our numbers were higher on Nielsen, would they give us a higher budget? That's possible. So maybe it all is possible. But I just don't see them. If the end of the day, our goal is to make Impact as big as possible and make it still on TV, still viable, still we're all enjoying it, the Nielsen ratings to me aren't the end all be all. And that's all I'm saying. Do they matter? Yes. But do reposts and thumbs up on YouTube posts, which were barely cracking 1,000, now hitting 2,000 plus, are retweets hitting numbers, reposts hitting numbers that they didn't used to before? Yes. Do YouTube numbers? That's another thing we're not taking into consideration, guys. This isn't 2002. This isn't 1990s for sure. Where are the +3s? Where are the +5s? Where's the streaming numbers? Where's the YouTube numbers? Do advertisers strictly only care about Nielsen ratings, or do they care that the social media numbers are up? And will they throw an advert on there because the social media numbers are up? So there's a lot playing into there, man, because there's a lot of us that don't watch Thursday at 8 live on AXS TV with the box. It's that simple. And I know I'm talking, in circles, or maybe I'm not. It's just been it's been a long day. But I hope you understand, yes, Nielsen ratings do matter. When you sit down with AXS TV and you sit down with Impact and they negotiate their next right fees, sure, it matters. But do I care if 20,000 people only watch Impact live Thursdays with the Nielsen box and then go back on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday and watch it? 100,000, you don't know that number, I don't know that number. It doesn't matter to me. There's a lot of other factors, and that's my point. So I should go more detail, but there it is, and I will move on. Thank you, Demon Better. I hope you get my point there. Hope I even said a point. Gary Rossetti, hey, what's up, buddy? Very nice reaction show, Geoff. Thank you. I think Deonna losing is her redemption story. At least I hope it is. I hope so, too. With all the people leaving, it would make sense that they use that budget on someone as great as her, who helped build a foundation and rebirth this company. But at the end of the day, it's what she wants as well. Also love Gresham vs. Shelley last week, plus Deonna vs. Tasha was great too, and really enjoyed Jordan Grace, Kylan King, Bully Ray, and Steve Macklin's interaction segment. Okay. Hey, to each their own. Thank you, Gary. Always appreciate you, my friend. Keep going here. Sky's Blur making it back. As far as Ospreay talking about Josh, Impact allows this on their show, so clearly they're fine with it. I mean, they're fine with Omega holding Impact title, destroying Impact talent, and losing the title to Christian instead of an Impact guy. They were cool with Tony having Impact sucks ads. All right, we get it. Yeah, look, I wasn't a defender of all that when it happened. I just knew that we needed to pay to play. Let's be honest, guys. Where we were at when all that stuff was going down. I'm not talking about now with the Ospreay thing. I'm talking about back then. We needed to pay to play. Did it work? Did it give us anything? Did Kenny Omega bring us anything? Did Christian? I thought Christian was fun. I thought Josh beating him and then the Moose thing. We made it work. But you can't act... Well, you can. But I would like to think... Especially after that Scott promo where he's talking to Tony backstage and he's just like, good, great, whatever, and exits. I just don't think the relationship is as good as what, or was as good as what people perceived, and that we were just like, oh yes, just run all over us. I don't think that's how it happened. As far as Ospreay saying that, yeah, I don't think there's any reason that they should air that. I don't. I don't want to hear a guy now, especially that's leaving to go to AEW, say, I don't know who you are. That's Bobby Fish shit, and I didn't like it when it happened there, and I didn't like it happened last week. Sky's Blur again. Some things I hope TNA does in the new year is bring back the Bound for Glory series. Me too, my friend. More focused feuds and storylines. I agree. Let's get into Hard to Kill, and let's see what happens there. Bring in new KOs that have a different wrestling style. That's what we're talking about. High flyers. I agree. Let's pick and make it the best division possible. It's already there, but obviously we're losing people and we're going to bring some new people in, so let's make sure they fit the cause. But most probably stop having so many title matches. Not saying they should be like Reigns, but limit those matches some. And maybe retire the cutter move. It seems like everybody Impact uses them way too often. Yeah, the cutter is abused. I love when Tasha does it. But yeah, it's fair points. I don't know about the title matches. When they don't mean anything, I agree. Like, do we really need... I know they feed a lot of people on TV or matches to build someone's reign and then whatever, but yeah, okay. It's a fair point. Parkside, what's up, Millard? Another great reaction show, G. Respect. I just saw that Mickie James was taken off the roster page. They also took Taylor off and finally Leo Rush. I don't know if this means anything. I wonder if they're taking people off to set things up for a TNA roster page. I told you that I thought Mickie might be that person who is the greatest wrestler in the world or whatever Tony was saying, and was going to bring in that full gear. Obviously, it was Ospreay. Mickie coming out and saying that, she was never under contract, She came in to complete some things. Look, I don't know, man. If you read between the lines, could she just be being honest that she wants to, Nick's doing other things, so she wants to be home with the kid? Possible. I want to bring up a possible other scenario just for some critical thinking, some conspiracy theory here. Kenny King, Mickie James, Taylor Wilde. A lot of TNA people leaving right before we become TNA, right? I don't think it necessarily means there's going to be some kind of crazy storyline that happens at Hard to Kill, but really interesting the people that are leaving right before we become TNA again. Oops, sorry. What is... Anyway, sorry. Cats going crazy. They don't want it to be TNA. No, yeah, really interesting, man. I don't know as far as what it really means. Is it just temporary? Is it legit? Is it something that Hardcore Country plays it Hard to Kill and we all pop because we thought she was gone? Let's see before we react. At the same time, I would like to think, and we talked about the depth charts here, that we would, use the money we're saving. I hate saying it like that. By people leaving, though. And put it towards other talent or retain the talent we want. Leo Rushman's a different story. He's in and out, not only Impact, just wrestling, it seems. So more power to him, or happiness to him, whatever he does. But the Taylor thing does suck for me, because really wanted, when we talked the Team Canada thing, for her to come back and do that, or bring a new tag team partner and revive the Coven. But either way, I hope she's fine. And we'll see where the roster goes. We'll have to look at depth charts, but there's definitely some pieces that we can add with all these people leaving. The same goes with Kenny King. I mentioned, obviously just mentioned him, but interesting. Maybe he just goes to ROH, but I don't know. All right, Millard again. Gee, with people leaving Impact or rumored to be leaving lately, how do you feel about the Snowman signing damn near every free agent out there? Do you think that TNA Impact should try to sign big names TK doesn't, or go with more younger upcoming guys? I trust Scott 100. I just wish we could get a few bigger names heading into Hard to Kill. Either way, I'm TNA all the way. Yeah, same here, buddy. I get your I don't want to say resistance, but your trepidation when it comes to this. Because, I mean, look, we're people coming off the roster page like crazy, people getting signed by Tony. I will say this, look, the more Tony signs, the more people go to catering. The more people go to ROH. And I think Impact's greatest thing they can do and have done in the past, when they're still trying to stay in the black, not overspend on someone who's barely going to move a needle, is wait for those disgruntled people to get released, or to ask for their release from a WWE or an AEW, specifically AEW. That's what we're talking right now. They have so many on that roster that really could be an added bonus to us. And those are the guys. I mean, look at Alan Angels, right? Came over, was just kind of, when they brought in a new crop of bigger names, kind of was to the wayside. We brought him in, and he did well for us, and continues to do. So I'd like to see more of that. Of course, I'd like to have a really good name come in, because that Ospreay versus Josh match, it just was two dudes to me, on the same level, knocking it out. And there's people for Josh that are on the same level in Impact, yes. But I would like some more. I want some more people that could come in here with star power, with the whole bag, and bring their talents to TNA. Now, will that happen? I don't know, man. We'll see where they spend their money with these free agents. But there is going to be a lot of gaping holes in that roster. So let's see. All right, guys. I got two more. I'm sorry if I'm all over the place. I got cats doing crazy shit. I got losing my train of thought. But let's get into the last two, if I could get them on. Here we go. Roger Pace. Hey, what's up? 3749. I saw the interview with Trinity from Denise, but I really hope Trinity is going to resign with Impact TNA, but I see she's really enjoying herself, so we'll see if she does. Oh, okay. Did she say she's not signed, or it's coming up? Either way, I mean, she wants a glow belt. Will that happen? I don't know. Unless we're going to reproduce it for merch, I'm okay without it. She says she's going to be Trinity TNA, which I like. Put the T in TNA, because she sure as hell don't put it in Impact. Stupid. But I love Trinity, man. She brings a whole different flavor, obviously. And once again, just like we talked about, putting people in that, not just the Knockouts division, but in divisions in general, we need to fill gaps that fit around people. And I think Trinity is in a whole different breed of her own. So I like what she does, and hopefully she does stay. But update me. Hopefully it wasn't anything negative. Last but not least, Shadow Lane 99. What do you think of Ospreay going to AEW? It seems like some TNA are disappointed that he went there, and also upset that he defeated Josh a few days ago right before he debuted in AEW. Personally, I never thought he or Punk would go to TNA, so not upset by it. What do you think would make the next pay-per-view great in the new TNA era? Thank you for that. I'll break it up, buddy. What do I think of Ospreay going to AEW? I think he gets to live in the UK. I think he gets to be paid the bag. I think he gets to wrestle for New Japan still. Do I think it was the right decision for him? I don't know him. He needs money, or wants money. He wants the security for his family. He still wants to live in the UK, and this does it for him. So it was the right decision. The other thing you have to look at when it comes to Ospreay, just Ospreay's perspective. If you believe in your talent that much, and he should, no amount of shitty booking or lack of foresight is going to devalue Will Ospreay. So he could wrestle there for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever the contract is, and granted, they're still around, which I believe they will be. And his matches will speak for himself. So, going to a company where that's what they prefer, and storyline's second, I think he'll fit right in. But once again, what's more interesting to me is you're signing all these people, man, as Millard said. Who goes to catering? Who loses TV time? Yeah, they have fucking 3 shows, so I guess that no one would, but there are a lot of people that get matches only here and there, so that's more interesting to me. Am I disappointed that Ospreay went there? No. I did not believe he would sign with us. Be real. Look, he's a kid, he has a wife, he has responsibility. The schedule works out, but does the pay? I don't know what they were offering. I liked him when we had him. Of course, would have loved to keep him. I just don't. I'm not losing sleep over it. I do have a qualm with people having a problem with him defeating Josh. Look, of course you don't want your one of your main eventers to lose to another guy, especially who's going to go sign. Granted, this was filmed 2 months ago or a month ago, and no one knew what was going to happen. We were trying to court him, so But look, he is not only self-proclaimed, but is one of the best wrestlers in the world. So does Josh losing to him really hurt Josh? No. If these people are just watching on paper or results or highlights, yes, I can understand why you're upset by it. But if you watch the match and Josh gets hit by first after a banger, first and foremost, and looking like he had, the chance to win himself. But then you get Hidden Blade, Storm Driver 93, Hidden Blade, and then Stormbreaker. 4 moves. If you watch the match I watched, I don't know how these people are upset and think Josh looked weak or something like that. I just don't, and I don't know if that's the case or they're just mad because he beat Josh and goes to AEW. Once again, he's not there till February, but I don't know. I think a lot of people that make, not these comments, but make comments on the internet especially, don't watch Bell to Bell, and be real. And I think that goes to my point when it comes to ratings, and that's what I want to say as well. How many people actually pay attention when they watch? And how many are scrolling through and looking up? If they're scrolling through on Impact, hey, they're making ad money there while they're watching. So, look, I just, I don't know. I just don't see it, but I digress. What do you think about the next pay-per-view? Great. What would make it great? Tommy's got to lose that DMC. I don't think you go into a new company. I saw the banner and they have all the champions and come on, man. Look, and I love Tommy, but God. So we need that. We need our champions to be the representation that we want for this company going forward. I love Alex Shelley, but I prefer that to be Moose. I love Trinity. I'm 50-50 with her and Jordan. I love Jordan, but so I'm okay with either or there. The tag team titles are in good hands on both accords. The X Division title, Saban's in good place on his 10th reign. But yeah, that DMC, let's elevate that so when these people get the first viewing of Impact or TNA, they know that belt is the one to me and should be right before the world, your journey to the world. All right. Well, as far as anything else, I do want a TNA. I won't say. I don't want it to be a completely nostalgic show at all. Okay, I want the vibe to be there. I want to see what TNA is this point forward, but I also want to see maybe 1 or 2 Daniel, someone like that, come in and do give it the rub from the old TNA, and someone else coming in that kind of solidifies the roster. It doesn't need to be a big name, but someone comes in and says, "I'm coming for this." I would like to see that as well. And hopefully it's the DMC. But I digress. All right, guys. I want to thank you. Appreciate it. Still 34 minutes. Holy Lord. So let's get this going. Thank you, guys. Hit like and subscribe. Keep writing comments. I'm going to go get some sleep. Hopefully you guys enjoy your Thanksgiving, holidays, and be good to each other, guys. Keep supporting Impact. Keep laying those comments on me. Keep spreading the word. TNA, Hard to Kill, January 13. All right, guys. Thank you for coming out. God bless and good night. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.